Okay, I want to talk about not taking everything as one big thing and taking things in small little steps so that you can actually process them in your mind and also make progress. I feel sometimes in my life that let's take home improvements. There's a lot of stuff that I want to get done to the house. And I look at it as one big whole project, even though it has multiple smaller projects that are tackleable in, like, say, a weekend. So when I'm looking at my house right now, we need baseboard, we need softened fascia, we need the outside painted, the inside touched up, we need our cabinets painted. I mean, there's just so many things that when I look around the house, I get overwhelmed because I think, good Lord, there's so much that needs to be done. And it's overwhelming. It's like hugely overwhelming. And so today, I felt like I got the word that, take it in smaller steps. It's like bites you can chew, not like the whole meal at one time. So in a weekend, maybe you'll do the softened fascia. In a weekend, maybe you'll do a couple of rooms. But you're making progress towards the whole goal. And it's not going to be like one of those home improvement shows where, poof, everything's done in a day. Because you don't have 50 to 100 people, busting out your walls and doing all these things for you. And it's like this in all areas of life. It's not just a house or a house project. It's like, okay, I have to tackle, I see in my life that changes need to be made. Say losing weight. I see that changes need to be made. I need to lose 100 pounds or however many pounds I need to lose. And in my case, it is 100, but I go, okay, it's so overwhelming. Like, I want it to happen like a episode of, The Biggest Loser or something like that. And I think that this is something that media does a disservice in us, where it shows us that they worked out, and that they started eating right, but it doesn't show us every moment of doubt, every moment of cheating, every setback. It only shows us a little bit of the highlights, and that's how social media does it. And I feel that just does us a really huge disservice, because we don't understand how much time that one has to put into to actually see good results. I mean, I haven't eaten bread since May, and it is currently August, the end of August, and I have cheated on my diet, and it's a lifestyle. It's not really a diet, whatever, but because we are doing keto. But I know that I can get back on that horse, and that I can take it one day at a time, and maybe not be so overwhelmed by, everything has to be organic and grass-fed right now. Because I'll tell you what, our grocery bill went from like $250 a week to almost $400. And it wasn't because it was due to lack of research at the beginning, and now I've gotten it down to about $400 a week. But I have to buy my meat. We have to buy meat and eggs, and that cheese is a different place than we buy our produce, because produce is better and more cost effective in one place, and our meat and cheese and eggs are more cost effective and organic and grass fed and all that in another place. And it took me probably a month's worth of stress in trying to do all of this at one time, whereas if I would have just slowly put myself into it and took it as a process instead of an overnight switch, it would have caused me a lot less stress. And I just wanted to share that because maybe somebody out there is struggling with trying to bite the whole meal at one time, biting off more than they can chew at one time, and they're choking on it, and it's really causing them a lot of stress, when it's just like, okay, step back, look at your huge project and say, all right, I can break this down into small steps, and I can tackle this today and this tomorrow and this the next day, or I'll take it by the weekend because I work a full-time job and I'm a mom and I'm going to school. Okay, so you're already stressed out. So do this for yourself and see if it helps you, because the other end of the spectrum is just giving up and not doing it. And that's where we've been with the house projects, because it's just like, oh God, it's so overwhelming and I don't know what to do with it. And so it's like, and before you know it, it's almost isolating because the projects aren't done. You don't want to invite anybody over, and it affects your life. So really, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take big projects and work them into smaller projects and start tackling them like that. And that's how I'm trying to illustrate these books. I don't have to illustrate a whole book in a day. I don't even have to illustrate one page in a day. If I tell myself that, then I can just have fun with it and really just let it flow out of me. And I really hope that, with God's help, we can do these things, because I don't think that He meant for us to tackle the whole world's problems all at one time. That's why there's so many of us out here. We all have a part to play. Not that we're going to all fix the whole world by ourselves in one fell swoop. We're going to work with each other. We're going to make smaller projects. We're going to support each other. We're going to do these things. We're not going to, do it ourselves. And sometimes anxiety can stem from looking at the state of the world and really wanting to fix the state of the world all at one time, right now. If we snapped our fingers and we did this, we could solve world hunger. Yeah, that's probably true. But for some reason, that's not an option right now. Maybe it's greed or whatever, but that's not happening. But you can sponsor a child. You can foster. You can adopt. You can do something smaller on a scale that affects your life personally and their life personally. And that's where, biblically we're told to take care of the poor. Take care of the widows and the orphans. It's a big thing. It's a big thing He mentions separately. But He didn't say, every single one of us, you're responsible for the world's problems. We're not. But we are responsible for what God puts in front of us to do. And on a small scale. If you can't foster and adopt, you can donate. And all of those things are just as important as the other. Because a foster parent needs all that support. An adoptive parent needs all that support. If you can't do this thing, there's something else inside that project that you can do. And it's kind of like a pep talk for the day, because it's like, go out there, get into what you have to do. Don't bite off more than you can chew, but make your mark on that big project that you need to get done a little bit at a time. And then before you know it, it'll be done and it'll be successful. And don't freak out. Don't get overwhelmed. One room in the house at a time. One day of eating clean at a time. One day of getting out and walking more than usual at a time. And one day of, helping people at a time, or feeding people, or volunteering, or donating at a time. Doesn't have to be done all at one time. You don't have to be a millionaire to help the hunger cause. You could be poor and volunteer, or give pennies. I mean, who gave the most in that one scenario where Jesus was talking? The rich men who gave a little bit of what was in their pocket, or was it the woman who had pennies and gave them all? We all know it's all about the heart. What is your heart? You know? And if you get yourself so stressed out, if I get myself so stressed out, then I'm taking it all in one big chunk at a time, then my heart is going to get clouded and down and depressed, and I'm going to be asking, oh Lord, oh my soul, why are you so downcast? And we don't want to be in that place. We want to fulfill the Great Commission, but you can't do it all at one time. I'm just saying. And I wanted to do this pep talk for myself and for anybody else who might need to hear it, that don't become a success overnight. Your projects don't get done overnight. You have to take the time to step back, assess it, and put it into little smaller projects that you're able to deal with. We can do this. We can do this. Thank you.